So I had some problems with the Mr. Cool installation. It wasn't Mr. Cool's fault. Some things got delayed for the holidays. So I don't have a wall mount to hang this big thing on. And also, these walls being thick, I didn't realize I needed a 3-inch masonry hole saw to cut through the block. But I did find a spot in the wall that's not quite where I wanted the unit. I don't know if you can see it, but right about there, right about there is where the old ducting is. And there's just a thin sheet of drywall there, and there's actually a block missing. So I had this perfectly centered. I think I'm gonna move it over right there a little bit and make installation hopefully a little easier. So here we are again. And the building is fighting me a little bit. This is the hole that I drilled where the original ducting is, about here. Now unfortunately, it's too close to the ceiling. I'm not gonna be able to mount it. So we're gonna have to go with the original plan and make this a 3.5-inch hole and drill through this block. So luckily, I was able to get a 3.5-inch masonry hole saw, and I got the hammer drill. I'm gonna just put it on drill and see if we can make us a hole. Oh my. Well, it's not pretty, but it's working. And for the record, I just have it on drill, not hammer. It's definitely cutting. This is thick. Got through the drywall, but this stuff, this is quite thick. I'm hoping I can put a pry bar in there, break it off, and continue drilling, because if not, I just put a very large, ugly hole in my wall for no reason. Alright. So I got this to pop out. Exact center of the wall, so I probably need to move over like 3 inches here and drill, and that would let me cut through the cinder block. And I think the machine will cover this ugly spot, so I think I'm gonna drill another hole right here and give it hell. I tell you, it's all uphill. I will say, once it gets going, it cuts pretty nice. Alright, we're in the wall. Now to go all the way through. Okay. Concrete. Now we have a piece of wood in the way that I guess I'm just gonna keep on cranking. So take your wrist off if you're not careful. So I'm about out of drill bit. I have to lose this. Lost. Man, this sucker will break your wrist if you're not careful. Big, ugly hole. And I'm getting into the wood. So after several minutes of drilling, I was able to extract this. But unfortunately for me, I believe I am going right into a rafter. So I'm going to continue drilling, but I hope not, but I think I'm right into a rafter. These are all things to take into consideration because really this wall right here or this wall were my only options. Is I can't put them where the windows are. It won't fit there. And I didn't want the line set to come out in the shop and be susceptible to damage because it will happen. So I thought that was my best bet, but boy, this is gonna be a lot of work. So I am way deep in this wall. Like the drill was like all the way in there. And I finally got this piece to pop out. So before it falls down in the wall and is gone forever, well, maybe I can get it. Hang on. Yes, so this was double walled, thick stuff, and yes, I am like right into a freaking joist. So that's great. But not the end of the world. It looks like it's smooth sailing past that, so I think I can cut a hole or remove the plywood in there and get my line set and install this sucker. But right here, there's no way I could cut through all that, and structurally it's probably not the best for the building. This I don't feel bad about. I already removed a little bit of wood, but just maybe, I can get lucky. Almost kicked the ladder. Real close to losing that ladder. So, all I did was take off this big piece of wood that capped this plywood. So now, I'm going to attempt to pull up this plywood and see where our hole is. Now, carefully measuring things out by eye, this is where I drilled into this ducting, which would have been great if I could have used this, but it's just too high. I think I am into this beam, like below this. So only one way to know. I'm gonna pry up this ply, take a look in there, and I hope I see daylight. Oh, pretty loose. I didn't expect that. All right, my calculations were correct. Got this up. Look at that. Daylight. So what I can do, I could probably cut this piece of ply right about here along this beam so I can work it, maybe exit it out here and just run it along, because it looks like there's a lot of joists and stuff in the way. But if I go here and maybe take a piece of PVC pipe and, you know, cover it, I can make it to that wall, because the unit's gonna hang on that wall about there. I already got wiring ran. Oh, and the drain. Might luck out with the drain. So in my dungeon here, there's some plumbing there. And I think I'll probably just tap in and dump the drain in that big piece of PVC. I hope nothing else has went to plan so far, but maybe that just will. But this thing hasn't worked. This building hasn't had proper heat in a long time, and I'm looking forward to getting it getting it back up and running, put back to her old glory. It's just a lot all at once. I really wanted to get this building locked up in the summertime, so I had some time to get established and plan all this, but it just sucks. It's cold out and I don't have any heat, and I'm kind of scrambling to get it done. I'll make it happen. I've done more with less, so I'm still trying to keep it positive. I am bummed out. I only got 25 bucks for taking out this giant furnace, though. 25 bucks. Scrap is 6 cents a pound. So the saw ended up going a little wonky. We started off strong here, and then it progressively went to that side, and I can't get all the way up to the wall to cut it, but we have access, and there's our hole. So worst case, I can cut out a little bit of this board, like what I'm doing there. Some finger work here. But right here, I can cut a little bit of that board and get my line set in here and exit somewhere. Run them along here would be ideal. So I'm gonna get another trimmer, trim that back a little bit, and hopefully I can kind of float this board in there and get it to hold up. I went in here and just kind of cleaned these up so it's not as sharp in there with my little multi-tool. So I should have a pretty straight through path where I can bring these, because I don't know if these lines, once they go in there, if they chatter when it runs. I don't know. I'll fasten them up the best I can. My worry was I just didn't want any sharp edges, you know, possibly puncturing these. And it looks like a bunch of beavers been gnawing on this, but I think for the most part, I'm good. Now, it's onto the front. I leveled it up. It's like 8 inches from the ceiling to the top of the template. They say you need at least 6, so we should be good there. It is slightly, I mean, just slightly on the high side. I think Mr. Cool says 6 to 7 feet, and we're closer to 8. But the reason I had to do that was because the ceiling is literally like right here, so you gotta do what you gotta do. But now, I'm gonna read the directions, see where I anchor this bad boy, and what to anchor it with, because we're going concrete to wood to concrete to wood. Reading through here, it looks like once we get our template leveled out, which I did, there's my level. This wasn't carefully measured out by eye, I did it. So remove the screw that attaches to the back of the indoor unit. Oh, there it is. Correct. Incorrect. Incorrect. Just in case you want to know. Now, I'm not the biggest guy on directions, so I'm just gonna use common sense and make some holes. Hole. Okay, there are 4 holes. Oh. Right where these little arrows are, I drilled. And I put the holes in there. I'll then put anchors in because it looks like right about where I drilled that hole from the other side, this is just drywall. So we're gonna be into just drywall here and no wood, which kind of sucks, but I mean, we'll make it work. I gotta do what I gotta do. I'll be honest with you, none of these really bit all that good. Makes me a little nervous. This is nice and level, but I'm not a fan of these anchors. I think I'm gonna pop a couple more screws in it just because, I don't know, I don't like it. Nice little wood screws here. Oh yeah. Okay, that bit nice. Now that that is mounted to my liking, I can adjust this big hole. So I looked through everything. This is the wall sleeve and cap. And I think I'm going to save this for when I run the lines to the outdoor unit. And we'll use this here. I mean, not like it really matters. But I'm going to use this here. And I'm going to take a piece of PVC pipe, because that other one I got doesn't even go all the way through this. So I know I got some 3-inch PVC pipe at home, and I'm going to run it directly through the wall and have it shield everything, because I do not want those lines rubbing through. I know I don't have any here. I'm positive they're at the house. But you can see when I run this all the way in, I can see concrete still. But I do want to put the unit up there and make sure it's going to cover that big ugly hole in my wall that I did like a fool. I mean, that was perfectly centered. Now it's off a little bit to that side. I'm a little concerned. See scratches there. I just popped this thing back on, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like this or not. I mean, here's our drain. This has got me a little concerned. I hope it's made like that, but I'm gonna go ahead and feed the wires and the hoses through there first and just make sure everything's gonna be all right. Probably be easier having 2 people do this, but that's not my style. Maybe I like to do it behind the back, but I can't. Okay, got that. Definitely would be nice for 2 people, but like I said, that's not my style. Okay. Line set is through. Drain is through. Push this power cord all the way in. Okay. Then yeah, definitely not the easiest thing to do. Ain't gonna lie. I want to force it. Come on. There it is. I think that's about how it goes. Looks like it's going to cover the hole. That's all I was after. I just wanted to make sure it covered the hole. Boy. little janky. Not really a fan of how they mount this. Look at it. All right, so it's up there, but we got these little tabs. I don't know if we can get in there with the camera, but up on top there's little tabs that hang out there, and then these ones are supposed to grab on right in here. But it does seem, hey, I don't know. I don't really like how this thing mounts. So may have to do a little patch job there, but I can live with that. Let's see what everything looks like inside, and my God, I hope this thing doesn't fall. All right, at first glance, I think that's gonna work out. Got plenty of electrical wire to go to our unit. But where's the drain? Did the drain come through? There it is. Come on. So there's the drain. Okay. Yeah, I think this will work. I don't know how pliable the line set is. From that, I mean, before I cut a hole in this beam to exit out and run there, because I don't want to mess with probably beam after beam after beam, but if I got to, I got to. I mean, I guess I could do the same thing and cut that so it's nice and hidden. They did some janky stuff, like if you can see the light right there, that's a window. And they put this platform that I'm on at the window level. I mean, I'm assuming at one time this was all the actual ceiling, because you can see they finished it off nice with molding, and at one time this was probably the ceiling. But it would be nice to hide the lines in this, so I don't know, maybe I will just keep cutting and just have an access. I'll put some screws in instead of nails just in case I need to look at them. But I will have to drill into this and dump the drain through my plumbing, so it's not the end of the world. This DIY Mr. Cool on walls this thick in a building this old, just that interior wall, this is turning out to be a job. Okay, I did far better cutting the second time around. Got a nice lip here. The only reason why it gets thin right here is because, I don't know if you can see it, but this board looks a little bent in there, but I think that'll be great. So I'm gonna do the same thing down to this wall. So I got the last one cut and it went janky. This board is not only split right here pretty good, but it's also about as straight as my cut. So if my math's correct, 2 squiggly lines is okay and it cancels out. So we're perfect. Now here's that window that they walled off I was telling you about. You can see daylight, that's what the light pulled out. But I'm thinking I'm probably gonna pop out one of those window panes and I can run the line set out there to wherever I'm gonna have the outdoor unit installed. Okay, so I cut through with the hole saw, 2 2.5s on each side. And no, that's not a split, it's just a piece of, someone drew on it with a marker. So I'm gonna have the whole line set running inside this, and then somewhere in this vicinity, I'm gonna have the water drain come out and drain into the plumbing. I gotta be careful how I do it though, because I want it to obviously run downhill continuously. But we'll get that figured out. And from here, it should be easy peasy. I already unraveled the line set. It's sitting right there. I'm not exactly sure which one goes to which unit. I don't know if they interchange or not, but I got it all rolled down, and I should have plenty of room to put it wherever I want on the outside. I forget what day we're even on, to be honest with you. These like 45-minute installs they show on TV, not so much in my situation. So one thing I noticed on this bracket, when I snugged up the bolts that hold it, really bent it. Don't really like that. So I took this piece of scrap tubing I got, I cut a little hunk off, used my handy bench grinder that I made this stand for out of scrap, and I'm going to put a couple tubes in here so when you tighten these down, it doesn't crush itself. So I'm going to make 4 of these and go ahead and put that together on the whole thing, because I want that as sturdy as possible and just as safe as can be. It's not worth it to have that expensive unit fall, and especially if it falls on myself or somebody else or a vehicle. As you can see, huge difference. These are tightened to the same amount of torque, and I mean, it really starts pulling in the walls right here, and I don't like that. It's just going to be a spot for it to possibly fail. I mean, like this, it is way more rigid and secure feeling. So I'm going to take this back apart, do the same thing. And guys, I don't get paid by any of these companies. I'm going to tell you how it is. This does seem like a pretty sturdy bracket for the money. There are just a few little things that, you know, could be a little better, and that's to be expected for what I paid for it. I understand that. But I'm gonna call it how it is. Got our bracket assembled, and you can see how it's gonna fit. It's gonna bite onto those legs. I like how they made this so it grabs the ledge, and then there's gonna be 3 of those anchors in there holding it. And I don't know, I may even do another anchor there. We'll see what the directions say. Okay, so it looks like 3 on the bracket and then 1 on each leg is how they want it. I pretty much decided I'm gonna break through one of those windows. Hopefully I can cut it out and save it. And it's gonna exit, I think it's that window that they blocked off the wall. I'll show you so you get an idea. So this is the back of the building, and they just kind of went over this window and left it. You can see that's the one we were looking out, and they just kind of blocked off this top part because the ceiling is right here. Kind of janky how they did it, but there's no going back now. But I'm thinking one of these panes is gonna go, and that's going to be my exit for the line set and the electrical connectors. And we're going to put the bracket probably above this window is what I'm hoping. Easier said than done. So now I got to figure out how to drill a 1/2-inch hole about there and mount the unit and break this window. Unbelievably, I do have a 1/2-inch masonry drill bit, so I'm going to go ahead and start by drilling a small hole, get this centered right here. Oh yeah, and we'll talk about this yellow thing and the white thing behind me in the next video. But I'm gonna go ahead and drill a pilot, get this thing sized up, we'll get her leveled out, and hopefully we can start breaking windows and putting stuff in. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. I want it lined up with that center pane. This will be golden. There's one hole. Let's go for the big one. Alright, let's see if I messed up. Everything looks pretty level. I'm gonna get up there and drill some holes, and yeah, it's chilly out today. It's only like in the 30s. The bottom two holes, they are completely solid cement. So now I get to drill them 1/2 inch. Bottom ones, boy, those are rough. So now I get to hammer some studs in. This is rough. This is rough. So now I think I can put the unit on the stand. So it's come to my attention, this thing is quite heavy, and I got to get it all the way up there from approximately, I would say 8 feet from the ground to there. So this is probably more than one man should handle, but I'm gonna go for it and film it because this is kind of my only option. It's heavy. Ah, this is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Not even my forklift can help me because unfortunately grass is my forklift's nemesis, so it's gotta be me. Oh God, this is not gonna be fun. I wonder if I get in the back of the truck maybe? This is gonna be brutal. I mean, I'm gonna have to lift this thing. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's not light. I'm gonna have to lift this thing pretty much over my head and do it. So, once again, these DIY kits, this is something to take into consideration. I mean, I could manhandle it, like moving it. This is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. So after minutes of careful deliberation, I came up with this. The Ford Festiva on a trailer, wood on the roof, near my mount. And I think I can put the Mr. Cool on the roof, get on the roof of the Festiva, and hoist it onto there. This is the best I could come up with. Get down the cars, please. Not sure. Okay. Okay. It's on the car. Let's make sure we can see all of this. Get a good shot. So I'm gonna get on the car now. Try to hoist this bad boy. Into position. That's all it took. That's all it took was a Ford Festiva. That's all we needed. God, I can't believe that worked. Oh, that's what I was scared of. Okay, getting too old for that. And that is it. That is one sturdy mount. After careful deliberations, if that's the word, I have decided to no longer knock out one of these windows. Instead, I drilled a hole. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up because there's a lot of glare, but I drilled a hole up there. The lines are going to exit up, and I think I'm going to cut a hole in the concrete right about here. And if I cut that hole just right, I should be able to come in, make my connections to this, and have a little bit of room to spare. I hope I'm on my A game today. Mounting this thing went off without a hitch. I hope this hole is right about perfect. So I can't be 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain that this block, make sure I'm not sitting on any nails, this hole that was already here, I can see the unit, just the edge of it is right about here. And I can see that's where our window is. And our window ends in this region right here. So I'm thinking this is our solid concrete that I had such a hard time drilling through. I think this block is where I need to make the hole. I can't be 100% certain, but I feel at least 75% sure that that hole should be right about here. So now the question is, do I get that big long drill bit that I sunk the hoist in with and make a pilot hole and just make sure I'm there? Or do I just go for it with the hole saw and cut a big hole in the building and hope it's there? You know what? I'm a live on the edge kind of guy, and I brought the hole saw bit, and we're gonna hole saw. I'm feeling lucky. I'm such an idiot. I should double measure this. Ah! Do I want to do it? Should I just not be a bitch and do it? I haven't looked on the other side yet. Probably should have a mask. A lot of dust. We'll just go ahead and tuck in. God, I hope this isn't solid. Well, this looks like a lot of... I gotta be close. Hopefully it cuts through. Yes. Thank God. So, here's our chunk of wall. I gotta drill through another one of these. I think I'm gonna set the camera up outside and... Oh wow, I couldn't have made it any more perfect. Or so I think. Oh. So, here's where I cut it. And there's the center of the brick. So I am right on the ragged edge of where it needs to be, and I don't know if that's some excess mortar from where they filled the bottom part in solid, But now I'm gonna position the bit right on top, through the hole. Ooh, wrist breaker. And go out. So I'm gonna take you, put you outside, and hopefully, I feel pretty confident it's gonna come out right where I need it. But you'll be the first to know. Oh, it's perfect. We'll put this in there. And that should line everything up. Perfect. So before I get too far ahead of myself, I gotta remove that thing again and install this piece of PVC pipe. Totally awkward to maneuver in and out of here. Look at the positives. Now, in the kit, this is all we have left. We have some steel and clay, some tape, some tape, some tape. These go over the connections, so we got an indoor and an outdoor. This is our drain, and then this is the black tape that goes on the outside connections on the unit. Then I'm gonna wrap and then shove them through the wall. Now, one thing to keep in mind is this drain. Now, water does not drain uphill, so always have this thing kind of sloped the best you can so it pushes water out and it doesn't cause any issues. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this drain on the bottom, obviously, have it come out of here, use some of that tape to kind of wad this whole assembly up so it fits through that piece of pipe I just shoved in there. So to my surprise, this is not tape. This stuff is not sticky at all. It's some kind of vinyl. It seems pretty durable, but they give you this little roll of tape. What I did was I kind of wrapped it all with the vinyl, put a little piece of tape there to hold it, and a little piece of tape there to hold it. So now I have this whole big wad of stuff, and I'm keeping my drain on the bottom. And I'm gonna stick it through the wall, hang it, and then I can start mapping out line to line, run it up top, and I can really start getting it done. And I think this place is gonna have heat today. Pretty excited. One-handed. Come on, get in there. That does glide right in. But man, it's definitely a job. I ain't gonna lie. So I've already ran the power cable that goes to the outdoor unit. And you can see what I'm going for here. Cut a hole right there. Let's get the light over here so everybody can see. I ran it through the joist, holes, more holes, and out the big hole, and I just dangled it out. And I didn't go outside yet, but I think I'm gonna have plenty of wire to hook it up. And then comes the big boy power for the outdoor unit. oh, that requires a breaker box that I will be tackling myself. So, on this line set, I've noticed the fittings, they're capped, don't panic. So these are capped, and that one looks like this. And then way over here, you can see that one's staggered. Like the white one is further back than the black one. And right here, the black cap, oh, by the way, I think I cut my butt on some glass. So it was not smart of me to not vacuum this. And I mean, I have a vacuum right there, so my own fault. But anywho, when we go over to this, we see the black one is further back than the white one. So I'm thinking they want that there. It didn't really say in the directions if it mattered, but that's how I'm gonna do it. After getting these lines set in, and actually this sets in pretty sweet. You can see I got them lined up right through the holes where it should be. And after doing this, there's no way I'm gonna try to bend that thing through that hole. These just aren't gonna go. I'm gonna have plenty of hose to get to where I need to be, and I'll leave the excess on the inside of here where it's protected and out of the way. I think I'm probably gonna cut more of that out and just lay it in there where it's close to the wall and just kind of neatly coil it up there. So when I cut this hole from the other side, and you were on the other side of the wall watching, I knew I was right there. I could see the fittings, and I'm not gonna lie, I got excited. Come on. Okay. Alright, we're in. We're in, and no kinks. Yeah, I think we're actually touching the unit out there, and you can see got a nice sweeping curve. I was worried about this, but no, we're solid. That is good. And I should have plenty of line now to do what I got to do. And just from looking at this, I should probably do the outdoor first, I think, maybe, because I can see what's going on in here. So I'm not gonna lie, I struggled a little bit. Bending this big one was quite rough, and you can see in there they kind of put a design in it where it will bend and it's pliable. Looks beautiful. I just snugged them ever so slightly until they bottomed out on the fitting, and I did use another wrench on the back side to support both of them. I think we're gonna do the black one first. Don't think it matters. I'm gonna simply do these by hand. I kind of push in on it while I'm starting the line, because these are very soft. Oh, I heard something. Same thing. I'm gonna pull on this ever so slightly and just turn the fitting until it starts biting. Yep, and I can feel it. It's going. Just a little bit. That was it, just enough to put tension on it. Now I'm gonna leave these exposed until it's running. I'm gonna check it with soapy water, make sure we got no leaks. So now it's electrical time. That's really all that's keeping me from running this thing now. So it's getting dark out here and I gotta hurry up, but wiring, pretty simple. color coded. This one's actually got a little 2 on it, little 3. Obviously that is ground. Now one thing I'm gonna guess on, and I'm a little nervous about, and I'm not gonna lie, is my L1 and L2. Now, I've kind of lived white to the right, but in this case, you got white to a blue here, so maybe I should go, it's 50-50. I'm gonna go white to the right. It's getting dark. I'm gonna just go for it. I'm just going for it. It's fused, I mean, hopefully it doesn't fry my new unit. Box is in and fused. All it is this little guy and some fuses. So I'll pull this out so you can see, but I've kind of lived white to the right, so that's what it's going to be. And I am no electrician, but all right, it's in. But I guess I am today. So I'm gonna get this thing charged up before I put juice to it, and we'll see if we got heat. It's getting dark and it's getting cold. I am on the last step where we get to charge the lines. So I'm up on this ladder, and this fancy little Allen wrench they gave me, they say to open these, take these caps off. Okay, so we're loose. I'm gonna put these in my pocket so they don't fall to the ground. It said turn this clockwise all the way out, and then the valve is open. Ooh, holy crap. Wow, that thing is tight. Oh, okay, there it goes. I'm gonna turn it nice and slow. And I can hear something happening, and it says just turn it out all the way until it stops, and then cap it. So I've turned it quite a ways, and we stopped. It says do this one the same. So turn. And it stopped. So I'm gonna cap it. And our wires are hooked up, and we got power to our fuse box, so I gotta go inside, flip the breaker, and it should do something. All right, well, I'm either gonna be really disappointed or extremely happy. I don't know if that's supposed to come off or not. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it. They did include the batteries too, which was nice. Okay, batteries are in. It's on. Okay. That thing's open. I'm gonna go flip the breaker. Should be this one. I heard a beep. I heard a beep. Oh, it closed. Look at that. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, look at that! says 75 degrees. I got it on auto. Let's go out back and see if the unit's running. I didn't tape up any of the fittings yet. It's making noise. Wow, that thing is quiet. Like, I can tell the fan's working, but man, it is quiet. All right, well, let's let it build some pressure and see what happens. Stupid, you know, you can always count on an old clapped out OBS Chevy with like 1 7/8 cackly fart exhaust to just screw up my video. I swear to God, until I've been around. Yeah, it's running. All right, awesome. So I'm gonna go check all the connections with some soapy water for leaks, but everything looked good when I turned it on. So we should be able to tell pretty soon. Man, it got dark fast. Oh yeah, that's heat. Oh, that's heat. Wow. I wish you could feel this, man. This thing is rocking. Oh. Well, this is great. It's rocking. You can see it says 75 degrees. Let me shut the light off. You can see it says 75 degrees. Man, it is getting warm. Oh, that's nice. You can feel the fan. I can hear the fan building. Oh, this is good. All right, well, I'm gonna go get some soapy water together and just squirt the connections upstairs before I wrap them. And I think that's a wrap. Really, that should, it's supposed to get down in the 20s, and I'm a little nervous because I got all this exposed plumbing everywhere, which I guess is kind of a mixed blessing. It's exposed as opposed to being in the wall, so if something explodes, it'll be easy to fix and see. But oh man, this is awesome. I've never had a shop with heat, let alone air conditioning. Oh, I'm standing right here. This is toasty. Oh, I'm excited. Well, I'm gonna go do some checks and I'll report back. So I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick this up, but the unit's running right now and it's barely humming. Like, it kind of sounds like maybe someone's like in your bathroom blow drying their hair with the door shut with a quiet like hair dryer. Oh, I didn't run the drain. I still gotta run that drain. I don't think there's much humidity in the air. I don't think there's much humidity in the air right now, but I will do that right now. But let's check these bad boys for leaks. I got some soapy water here. Oh, this one's getting warm. Oh yeah. All I did was stick some holes in this with a nut, or stick some holes in this with a knife. Oh, this is great. I don't see no leaks. Probably isn't the best soapy water test, but it's what I got, so gonna use it. I still think I'm probably gonna give this a day before I do the final like wrap job on it and make it permanent. Just to be safe, I'm gonna let it run. Hopefully nothing pops up. But I'm gonna run that drain right now. because I know I'm gonna forget and it's gonna screw up my ceiling. But I'm also gonna take some insulation and I'm gonna jam it back there. I did bring some spray foam, but my it is expired or something. It's not working. So I went out to my truck and I got this expired can of stuff that does nothing, and I can hear it. Like, it sounds like there's something in there. So this is probably a terrible idea, but I'm gonna try to make this video entertaining, and I'm going to attempt to stick a hole in the side of it and fill that gap. So here we go. Probably a horrible idea. You know what? It's working. I just hate getting that stuff on my hand. Like, it's literally like crazy glue. Wow, this might have worked. It is definitely filling up. Get some back here too. Just waiting for the can to just explode in my face. Took the blade off my knife. Yeah, I don't care if it runs down. Just if you've ever got that stuff on your hands, it is awful. It might have been all she wrote. But you know what? It filled the hole. And I didn't get any on me. Oh, it's still barely coming out. So I'm gonna use that to fill some of these other holes that I jammed with fiberglass insulation. Alright, so if you got a can of this stuff and it won't come out, just jam a screwdriver or knife in the side of it and you're good to go. Look at that. Filled her up. I just went up and ran that drain tube out, and oh my god, it is toasty in here. And I'm not just saying that, like this thing is rocking. Not so much if you're right under it, but it's definitely heated up the room, I can tell you that. But if you stand right about here, and I'm probably 10 feet away from it, holy crap, this thing puts out some heat. Like, it does, this thing puts out some heat. And even like, you know, this door's open going into the shop, I can tell a difference already. So, recap, is the Mr. Cool DIY an actual DIY? This is what I bought. And like I said, I am not sponsored by anybody, so it's not like I got this for free and I'm talking it up. Would I say it's a DIY? If you had like a steel building, okay, with thin walls, and you just wanted to put that on a wall in your shop, like say this was your steel building, if you wanted to throw that on a wall in your shop, run those pipes down, you already had electrical, boom, yeah, you could probably do it in a day. But my install, being that I put it on that wall and I had to run it out here and mount that up high. Now, technically, yeah, I did it all myself, but it was not a day. There ain't no way. Like, I had no idea what I was getting into. I knew I had to cut some block, but that proved to be pretty difficult on that center wall. The back wall, you watched me do it. That one wasn't that bad. So, at the least, you're gonna have to buy some equipment. If you don't already have a hammer drill, you gotta buy a hammer drill. It is nice, so far you don't have to charge it. It seems like it's working pretty good. You gotta be decent electrical, I guess. You know, light to the right. That's how I've lived, and it's gotten me by. Some electricians are probably gonna disagree with me, but it's working. What else? It's heavy. Yeah, it's heavy. So if you're one guy, be sure you have some equipment to make it happen. But overall, I mean, it's only been running 15 minutes. I'm pretty pleased. Like, when you step right here, big difference. Even out in the shop, it's a little drafty. I just want to keep it manageable to, you know, have my pipes not freeze. As time goes on, I may put some in the shop. If things start rocking and rolling, I was thinking get a dual zone one and put one on this wall, possibly, and then maybe one on like that far wall. I don't know. So this place could handle it. Like, that's kind of what I thought. You know, up front, obviously, we need to address that first. But if I'm gonna be working back here, I wanna be comfortable. I'm getting old. I mean, this is, if you know me, I mean, this is hilarious that I have climate, at least in the front of my shop. So, I wanna wrap it up. In conclusion, I will say, yes, you can do the Mr. Cools by yourself. But if you want to get a little complicated, like putting it on a middle wall, you're gonna have to work like I did. Like, I mean, it was a job. If I would have put it on that outside wall, wouldn't have been as bad, but that's what I wanted. I think that was the best spot for it, and I don't regret it. I'll do an update, let you know how it's working. I'm sure I'm gonna find a bunch of features and stuff it does, so I'll do an update video, you know, once I get it running, and let you know if there's any issues or what I can find, because I guess you can, you know, link it to your smartphone according to this. I don't know, we'll figure that out. Don't know. But overall, yeah, so far I would recommend doing a Mr. Cool. If you're a little bit handy, I think anybody could do this. So, I'm wrapping it up.